Hello and welcome again to another Infobots podcast. This is episode number 009 and I am your host, author Frederick Fishman. And today and every day we are sponsored by me. So if you want to go and check out my books and apparel and gear, go to the main Infobots website at Infobots, spelled with 2 T's, Infobots.com. You can also help us out and show your support by visiting our Patreon page at patreon.com/Infobots podcast. Okay, let's get started. And did you know that the most daring, complicated, and significant U.S. Air Force bomber designs during World War II was the B-29. It accomplished in the Pacific what the previous successful bomber, the B-17, did in Europe. The military needed a long-range, high-altitude delivery system for bomb payloads to traverse the Pacific Ocean to bomb targets in Japan. These missions would hopefully end World War II. In the two most important missions, the dropping of the atomic bombs on Japanese cities of Hiroshima on August the 6th in 1945, and 3 days later, on August the 9th, 1945, did just that. The B-29 was built by major contractor Boeing at various U.S. plants. It was necessary because of increased bomb load capacities and long-distance target, Japan, over the Pacific Ocean. The planes had a blunt, rounded nose, long wings, and they bristled with 12 20mm machine guns controlled by revolutionary analog computers, yes, in 1945, for increased accuracy in shooting down enemy aircraft. They had 4 powerful Wright R3350 duplex Cyclone engines, and this is what they sounded like on startup. They required a crew of 10 brave and dedicated men to fly at altitudes up to 40,000 feet in a newly introduced pressurized cabin. The B-29 was huge, almost 100 feet long, with a wingspan of 141 feet. They had a top speed of 365 miles per hour and a range of 5,592 miles. 3,970 were built at a cost of around $43 billion in today's dollars, or $3 billion during World War II. Their first mission was on June the 5th, 1944, bombing Japanese positions in Thailand. Their first Japanese mainland mission was 10 days later, on June the 15th, 1944. And their last 2 missions were during the war on August the 6th in B-29 named Enola Gay, piloted by Colonel Paul Tibbets over Hiroshima to deliver and use the first atomic bomb. The second atomic bomb mission in a B-29 named Boxcar on August the 9th, which finally convinced Japan to surrender. The last B-29 was phased out of the military in the early 1960s, replaced by another iconic Air Force bomber, the B-52, still flying and in use today. Only 2 B-29 aircraft are flying today. One is called Fifi, and it's owned and flown and maintained by the commemorative Air Force. Now you know. Thank you for listening. We hope you will support our efforts to bring you this daily Infobots podcast. You can help us out by visiting our Patreon page at patreon.com/Infobots-podcast. Join us again for another episode of Infobots. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.